What happens when a local city council finds a way to tell the state legislature not so fast? I'm Charles Blaine, and this is Texas Tomorrow. This year, the Texas legislature passed a series of bills designed to tackle one of Texas' biggest problems, but also one of the nation's biggest problems, and that's the exploding cost of housing. Now, their solution, it was deregulation and allowing more density where desired. Specifically, SB 840 was supposed to be a game changer, and it is, allowing apartments and mixed-use development to go up in areas that were previously zoned for commercial and office space and warehouses. The goal was simple: unlock land for housing supply, especially in our dense metropolitan areas where we're seeing a lot of people want to move, like DFW and Austin, helping to slow down the soaring prices. But if you thought that the fight for local control was over, you haven't been paying attention to the suburbs closely enough. Across DFW in particular, cities are pushing back. So what they're doing is they're using zoning, an ancient and sometimes convoluted weapon in their arsenal. These zoning rules that they're implementing, they're not just outright bans, but they are restrictions and essentially poison pills designed to make the new state mandate impossible, or at least financially ridiculous for anyone to pursue, developers to execute. Now, take Irving, for example. If a developer wants to use the new state law to build apartments in a commercial zone, Irving now says that the building can't be a typical 3 or 4 stories. It has to be at least 8 stories tall. 8 stories tall. It's an unusual minimum height requirement designed to scare away builders. This is what they do. Arlington and Plano follows suit, and they're what they're doing with similar high-rise mandates. And it's not just about height. They're adding laundry lists of other mandatory amenities just in case you're able to get through 1 or 2 of them, from swimming pools to dog parks to dedicated remote workspaces, even high-level energy efficiency requirements that go far beyond standard building codes. This is the very definition of a local government, or many local governments, using their authority to undercut a legislative mandate. The state says you must allow high-density housing here, and the city replies, well, fine, but it must be this ridiculously expensive and tall building that no one can afford and no one wants, and so no one's going to build it. And then they win. It's a way for suburban officials to say, not in my backyard, or as many call them, NIMBYs, without technically breaking the law. And cities and towns like to do this a lot. So what's the risk here? If the suburban resistance succeeds, it doesn't just stop apartments, it kills the state's efforts to increase housing supply in a fast-growing state where people desperately need it the most. It pushes housing further out, increasing commute times, gridlock, and it compounds the very problems that we're trying to solve. The fight over housing affordability isn't happening just in Austin. It's happening right now in your city council and my city council, as local leaders try to draw the lines of what your community will look like tomorrow. Now, you should be involved in that conversation as well. And the height of your next apartment complex may be the battleground. Who knows? Thanks for tuning into this week's episode of Texas Tomorrow. Please like, share, comment. Let us know if there's something going on in your neighborhood that you'd like to talk about.